Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Rufus, Edmisten, and Rick Henderson, the craft beer industry is growing rapidly in North Carolina, and on Friday, craft beer brewers were supposed to go to court to challenge two of our state's laws, namely the provision that requires that after they sell more than 25,000 barrels, they have to go through distributors to sell. And they're also challenging the franchise laws, which they say give distributors oppressive, one-sided contracts and control of their product. Now, we don't know how the verdict of this case is going to turn out, but we'd like your take on it. Rick Henderson, I'll start with you.
I think that the big question is whether or not the case does go to trial, because basically the craft brewers have to prove they have standing and prove they have a case to make. The argument they make, I think, is very strong. The problem with the 25,000 barrel limit is that it's totally arbitrary. And in process of discovery, the head of the state ABC commission basically said it was totally arbitrary.
Yeah.
We just made it up. And what's bad about that for the individual craft brewers is that once you have brewed 25,001 barrels, then every barrel you brew goes to a distributor. It's not just the incremental amount over. And so that's something that the General Assembly has tried to deal with and hasn't because of various interests and the like.
Well, let's be honest about it, because of lobbying.
Because of lobbying,
on both sides, from the distributors as well as the craft brewers.
The craft brewers have some lobbying clout now. They had none before, but there's much more on the side of the distributors. Now, an awful lot of these small breweries want to go through distributors because they don't want to hire sales forces and do that sort of thing. As far as the franchise laws are concerned, that's a little bit tougher, although that's something that's really going to require a lot of evidence to be presented at a trial that these things are so. You can have a lot of anecdotal discussion about whether or not people were able to get out of their deals or they were not treated fairly and that sort of thing. That's the sort of thing that's sort of hard to prove in court briefs.
As our former Attorney General, Rufus Edmisten, would you want to be in court on one side or the other of this issue?
I certainly wouldn't, because some of my friends are for it and some of my friends are against it. Not for my
friends.
I'm going to stand with my friends. The one thing that Rick said is perfectly true. It's very hard to attack the franchise system. Now, you think about automobile dealers have a lot of clout over the manufacturers. However, there's a fuss there every single year. There's some advantages to having a distributor, as Rick said. They do your sales force. Maybe that's just the arbitrariness of it. It's the thing that does bother me, but I like the idea that the whole system is there to help them get a good start if they want to.
The craft brewers, Rufus, say it's not just the sales force that these distributors are providing. They're telling them what price they ought to apply to it, and most distributors have other products, and so commanding shelf space is involved in all of this. There are a lot of different arguments involved in it.
Plenty of them, but it like in the car dealerships, it works its way out, because before long you're going to have more and more craft dealers who are going to have the political power.
Interesting. So you're saying
this is a big political problem.
This tail might be wagging the dog.
This tail might be wagging the dog.
Interesting. Well, thank you for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.